Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and can't remember when we did our last live stream for a We Own AI pre-launch working group, but we've been very busy building all the things, and we're going to be having a lot more here in August and September. One of the things that we did is we decided to postpone our crowdfunding campaign from August until October. And I think that that will be equally as strategic. But bottom line is that we weren't quite ready to flip the switch. And here it's the 27th of July. And needless to say, August is in less than a week away. So, taking a look here at the agenda, I'm going to scroll down. This is a templated agenda that we continue to refine. And again, I just talked a little bit about our Kickstarter campaign. That's one of two crowdfunding campaigns that we're planning to launch. Middle of October, we're planning to launch Wefunder, which is an investment equity crowdfunding platform. Kickstarter is where we're looking to onboard cooperative members. And one of the things that is in all of our templated event agenda is that we love talking about the culture that we're looking to create here within our We Own Triple Win ecosystem, FELG culture, which is an acronym for fun, earning, learning, and giving. So, taking a look at the agenda, and you can see here that don't have a lot of formalized agenda, but we absolutely have a lot to talk about. So, that being said, one of the things that we've been talking about is positioning this book. So the Kickstarter campaign is a where we're looking to create a book that we're going to call We Own AI, and this is where we're looking to use an NFT specifically for those that like to geek out. And we were talking another ERC conversation here before we went live, ERC 3643. And since we were talking about that, let's just go here to ERC3643.org. So this is worth mentioning because yesterday we had our second P token assets community call. And how does this relate P token assets to our We Own? Well, We Own AI is it's got some cookie challenges here with my browser. Anyway, so ERC 3643 is the token standard for real world assets, RWAs, and that's what we're looking to deploy on base for P token assets. And related to We Own AI, We Own AI itself will be a P token asset. And We Own AI is actually going to be a venture studio for launching our agentic AI brands. So let's look at the roadmap tab here real quick. Because one of the things that's worth mentioning is we've got here 6 peer blocks that we're facilitating. Most of us that are on the call here on the Zoom tonight are participating in the AI for real estate cohort. And this is where we're looking to, and I'm going to just add here re.box. And let me actually just do this. In the deliverables tab, let's make a section here. Let's call this We Own AI Brands. Let's make this a header in this document. We Own AI Brands. Uh, So unquestionably, the one that's the biggest focus right now is RE Box, which is for, and let me go here real quick to, since we've been talking about P token assets, going to P token our link tree, and let me see what we've got here. So these are the brands that we've got on our link tree. So let's use that here, re.box. Pay less tax, AI coach, AI coach. and aims.box. And also see roadmap tab. So this is worthwhile to mention as far as getting our strategy for our Kickstarter campaign. And one of the things that we had on our previous conversation was creating the We Own AI book NFT. One of the things that Tyler and I have been talking about, we've had, how long, Tyler, do you know when it was that we registered on-chain books?
I don't, but we've had Web3 books for at least 2 years. So we we've been thinking about NFT books and subscriptions in that space for a while.
Yeah, and I know that you've been getting increasingly excited, Tyler, about flexing your aspiring author chops. And this is like to summarize here. And I saw Alberto has joined. Welcome, Alberto, and bringing up Alberto because I know that we've been increasingly have conversations around as financial professionals of how that AI and agentic AI can be used. So is that something and let's actually create this as a deliverable. This is me thinking out loud here of some things that we need. So so we've got We Own AI brands. I'm going to leave that here towards the top. And let's break this into a branding deliverables, and I'm going to make this a subheading of the AI brands. And let's create a technological deliverables. I don't even need deliverables because this whole tab is deliverables. Branding, tech. So does on-chain books have, because the reason I'm bringing up on-chain books, this is going to be a We Own AI book. As far as I can tell, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, has anybody ever seen a book represented via an NFT on a subscription model? If you do, raise your hand or open your mic, either one. I'm taking a look at both here. Don't see anybody raising their hand or opening their mic. And we've been in the space, we've been thinking about this for a while. So this is one of the things that we're envisioning that when this book gets traction, because this isn't an isolated use case. Those people that have gone to college and academia know how many walled gardens there are around books and going to college, and the opportunity to create better mechanisms using blockchain on-chain technology is one of the reasons that we're all here hanging out tonight on a Sunday evening, Monday morning, depending on where you're at in the world. So anyway, thinking out loud here, does on-chain books have all of the standard? Because right now, with the thoughts around positioning this as a We Own book, and then because like right now, I've been really enjoying using the Fluent community. I'm going to go on a slight tangent. Those of you that have been around a minute know that I can go off on a tangent pretty easily. So here's where we've got a space on our Fluent community. This is built using Fluent community on our portal backend. And one of the things that we do not have yet on weown.xyz, and let me actually take off the community portal because it's a pretty still under construction website. This is the front end of the website, doesn't have any headers or anything like that. Most of the stuff is automatically being directed to the community portal that you see here. So that being said, this website right now as it exists has zero e-commerce functionality. And with where we're at, we have to minimize dev cycles on building here on WeOwn.XYZ. And my thoughts are right now is focusing on getting on-chain books, whatever website that we use. And let me actually take a look here at what sites that we have with books in it on our pork bun. So we have onchainbooks.org and onchainbooks.xyz. So here's where I like doing some best practices. I really like the .xyz domain. I think that from my observations in Web3, and true story, we paid $500 for WeOwn.xyz as an aftermarket purchase. It was the most expensive aftermarket domain that we bought. And it literally took it was painful. It took over 3 months to get that transferred over. But right now, my thoughts is to um, have all of the standard is, and I'm going to put this here under the tech. I'm going to make this a heading 1. So let's say build a Kubernetes cluster for on-chain books.xyz. So this is where WordPress .org plus WooCommerce will be the backend. There's a lot of reasons why that we're using WordPress, not to unpack all of that now, but that's some of the tech stack that we're making within our ecosystem. So build a Kubernetes cluster. One of the WeOwn brands. I'm going to come back here because this is one that I am adding and moving up the list. I may even move this up here. We own events. There were several of us on the coach builder, and I'm going to go off on this tangent real quick because one of the things that I believe is the biggest opportunity that we're creating with our ecosystem at large is for people to become AI coaches that have their real estate license and securities license. And this is, of course, from my very myopic view as a US. We're building using technology, and it's a global opportunity. But we want to, I think most of us can agree that the securities regulations here in the United States are some of the highest. So once we get the workflow figured out here in the US, we should be able to scale that effectively on a global basis. But getting back to my tangent here, Coach Builder. And if you haven't bought this book and you're going through our cohort, go to Amazon right now, everybody, and add this book to your cohort or to your and if you want to do audiobook, then add it. We've been listening to this book, but there's going to be some homework. I already talked about our goals for our AI for real estate cohort. And in here, there's a chapter talking about goals. And we listened to just yesterday morning on our Saturday morning book club talking about designing your perfect week, which was an additional chapter in here. So anyway, here's the link. Go buy it. I'm going to throw this in Zoom for you all. Again, I think one of the biggest opportunities is for AI coaches to help promote these AI brands, these WeOwn AI brands that we're building agentic AI for. But the reason I bumped up WeOwn events on here, one of the things that I have been saying, will continue to say, is that we're architecting our playbook quite simply to build from one event to another event. And that's one of the things I know that you remember, Alberto, when we were talking about that the other day, talking about getting some strategic events. So this is an event that I literally just created, I think, from one conversation, like in the last 30 minutes is when I created this. Let me refresh it right here and see how many minutes ago it was. So 31 minutes ago, I made this post. This is for an IRL event that Tyler and I are going to be facilitating here in Lakewood. This is going to be more of a lunch and learn, and we think it's going to be fun. And this is one of the things that we're wanting to elevate into a hybrid event format. I know those of you that have been building with us for a while, Tyler, I am Lotus, can absolutely attest to how much that I've been talking about wanting to get great at facilitating a hybrid event format. because bottom line, it just makes the event more accessible for the people that may not be able to break out of their corporate job. But the nice thing about doing it during lunch is that a lot of people can carve off, and if they need to break out early, they can absolutely do that. So we're fun to see what this looks like from a traction standpoint, and this is one of the things that definitely encourage you, Alberto, there in Vegas to consider doing. We're actually going to be doing something even more special here on this next event on August the 1st. This is actually Colorado Day. It's the anniversary of Colorado, and you fast forward to next year. Colorado was formed as a state in August 1st, 1876. So next year on August 1st, 2026, on Colorado's 150th anniversary, it will be our first anniversary for We Own Colorado Cooperative. And this is where we're looking to develop a state chapters sort of dynamic. And this is a model that can scale on a global basis because most decent sized countries have a more regional context, like a state sort of framework. So, anyway, moving back, this is actually something here I'm going to update real quick since I went to this conversation. So let's see. See, this even shifted a little bit because when Roman and I had brunch here on Friday, exploring this location here. So I'll make an action item to update this later here with a comment. Let me just comment here, update this later. All right, comment. Okay, so going back to the deliverables tab. So I've got a next action here. Does on-chain books have all the standard branding? This is something that I'll take as an action item for myself. The tech, this is something else that we'll work on deploying. So went off on a little bit of a tangent here to bring this back to We Own events. In the Coach Builder book, there was a chapter talking about bringing on staff to develop a seven-figure coaching business. And I really believe that every one of those functions can probably largely be facilitated using an AI agent. That's one of the things that we will build here through different we own AI brands. But this is where I'm looking to build because you think about running a profitable event. I do believe that it's going to be profitable for the people that are following the event playbook format that we're building towards, that we believe that this will be a very profitable format because this will also be into helping somebody build their own coaching business. So pay less tax. Anyway, going back here to the roadmap tab. So this is one of the things that we need to incorporate into our strategy in building the Kickstarter campaign for We Own AI, because there may be some gaps in some of these things. Like this is an opportunity here because I don't think we've got anybody else to contribute to project management professionals as far as, and this is something that's pretty far on our roadmap, but the opportunity to start thinking about using agentic AI for project management professionals. Last time I checked, there's over 1 million PMPs registered on a global basis. So anyway, let's take a pause and see if there's anything that's not included that we should potentially incorporate on our bullet points between our upcoming cohorts and the AI brands here. You got any ideas, Tyler? Alberto? Lotus?
Yeah, nothing jumps out at the moment.
And I think that this is a pretty, like, you think about between the roadmap here, One that I am thinking about that I do want to put on here, and let me actually add this, is and I'm going to bump this up even as um, I'll put it down here actually, a WordPress AI, and I'm going to call this a bridge. Because you think about us building the tech stack using the Fluent suite of tools, like here, um, going back to the community portal, this is built using Fluent Community. We're using Fluent CRM. We need to find an event tool. But the opportunity to bridge the information, the database that's in WordPress over to the agentic AI. So this is definitely one that needs to be on here. This is one that hoping to collaborate with somebody else that's working on an AI plugin. I don't think it has the bridge functionality that I'm envisioning to go to our bridge, and I'll put bridge to our AI or our agentic AI, our agentic, and I'll put in here K8S. For those people that aren't familiar, K8S is the abbreviation for Kubernetes. That's the scalable infrastructure that we're building our agentic AI framework using. So, one of the things that we haven't talked about that I've started talking a little bit about, and let me actually add this to let me create I'm going to just elevate this to a heading one itself here. Heading branding, tech. Let's do marketing, because marketing is very different than branding. So marketing, um, this is I was losing my train of thought here around. So the one pager. This is a lead generator slash one pager that can be one pager. And let's call this the We Own AI Money Printer Blueprint. And this is something that I've talked to Tyler around. Are you good with this $1,000 bounty on that, Tyler?
Yeah, it's fine.
We Own AI, and we're going to call this We Own AI. And the deliverable on this is Thursday. I want this piece of collateral. This is something that Tyler and I are paying $1,000 to get created. We will likely co-contribute to that. So we're extending the opportunity for ourselves to participate in this bounty. And I'm going to put in here bounty, 1K. And the deliverable on that is Thursday. Um, and let's actually facilitate plan. I'll have to take a look at my calendar, but let's potentially target doing a working group this time on Thursday night. We may even do two working groups on Thursday because, as you can tell, I'm really wanting this event on Friday to be a banger. And this is why that we're paying $1,000 to help co-create this one pager, this lead generator. This is something that we'll all be able to use. The thoughts is and this is something that we can have more conversations between now and Thursday night, Friday morning. Thursday night, we'll put 10 p.m. MDT is the deadline, and that's 31st July 2025. Lead generator one pager. We Own AI, the money printer blueprint. All righty. So this is something that we can create. Do we want to do this in Google Slides, Tyler?
Mm, if it's a one page, it really needs to be formatted more of a document, 8 by 11, unless you want it to be a slide, because otherwise you'd have
Isn't
to
that how we
reformat it.
created the last, like, for on-chain energy network? Wasn't that done using,
I don't
let me
remember
see
what
here.
I don't remember what it was, but is there a way to format Google Slides as 8 by 11? Because that's how it printed.
I'm sure. Let's see, one pager.
Yeah, you should be able to format Google Slides to be like letter
Oh,
format.
okay. Learn something new. Yeah, I remember it was Google something. I just was thinking it was the Word document version, but I guess
Yeah, so
not.
this is the one that we submitted, and it was definitely, let me take a look because I still think that this was oh, this is 2023. That's funny. One pager. So let's see, this is probably the one that we submitted right here. So yeah, this was done, Tyler, using Google Slides.
Okay, well, I'm gonna add one more thing to the bounty. Since we're paying so much for it, and we're on a short time frame, if you want to win the bounty, I want something I don't have to do anything on. Like, it needs to be complete, perfect, polished, edited, designed. I don't want somebody giving me paragraphs and whatever. I can do that myself.
Yeah, and this is where I would prefer it to be a collaborative effort. Like we paid a graphic design marketing person to assist with this one pager creation. And this is one of the things that like, but if you're interested in that, hit me up on the DMs. This is something that we'll be talking more about. I'm gonna put here as an action item for myself to create a fluent boards task. This is one of the things that we're getting, and let me actually just do that right now because this is a working group, and that's what we do is we actually do things instead of just doing it later. So here's our fluent boards. This is where all the sausage is made in the WeOwn XYZ ecosystem right now. And this is a content collaboration. All of us going through the cohort are currently in here. And let me just do a add task. So we're going to do a bounty. Let me just copy this here because that's what I love to do is copy and paste.
Share me a link on that. I know someone who does that kind of thing.
We can do that, but I don't really want to open this up to the world, like, because I mean, a designer could do this no problem. Like, the whole point was for somebody in our ecosystem. Otherwise, we can just do it ourselves and pay our designer.
Well, and to be clear, like if somebody wants to collaborate with somebody else and you want to share this bounty with them, like be creative here, everybody. Like if you want to collaborate, like I'll have a better idea. I would personally not rather spend any time myself on this week, and I think Tyler kind of feels the same way. And get something here on Thursday. They're like, "Hey, this is amazing. Here's your $1,000." Are you looking through that? And I see Alberto with an open mic. Go ahead, Alberto.
Oh no, I just had it open from earlier. Sorry.
Oh, okay, okay. Is that kind of how you're feeling too, Tyler?
I Well, we already have a designer, so yeah, people can.
But yeah, but
We posted bounties.
she's not available. Like,
Yeah, no, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, we have access to designers, so the whole point was for some whatever. It's fine if you want to collaborate with the designer. I just don't. I want people to know it's a bounty. It's not a contract. So I just don't want anybody getting their feelings hurt, being like, "Well, I want to get paid if we don't pick up."
well,
That's all I want to know.
and this is where too, like we do have a tool that we're paying for. I don't know if Plus AI is it plusai.com? Yeah. So I don't know if plusai.com, maybe we should just fire this up. I'll kick this to tomorrow as far as potentially because I don't know if it has let's look at use cases. And there's also some capabilities with StoryBrand. And let's actually through our working group tomorrow, and let's actually just deviate right now to take a look at the upcoming calendar because it is Sunday night, the opportunity to really get the things dialed in as far as this next upcoming week. Because this is one of the things that I want to get better at is creating the opportunities instead of it just being last minute. And this is why going back to our AI brands, you can see here, I'm bumping this up as a priority because now I can see a way that we can monetize this by creating agentic AI for event coordinators. This is something that we've already talked about paying for ourselves. Anyway, going back to let's get back on that tangent of looking at the upcoming calendar. So this is our 3-win social ecosystem calendar. This is who our Fathom AI note taker. So anything that does the note taking gets shown up on here. So taking a look, we've got a tools deep dive, and I'm not sure. I think I might make the executive decision to just bump this again. And let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna bump this to Thursday right now, because to me, having a working group here and a working group here, and I'm going to take a look at this office hours, if this is still viable. This is one of the things that we have been kicking the can down the road as well, but we really, when we're, go ahead, Tyler.
Are we moving the event?
What event?
What are you, sorry, I missed, what are you talking about moving? You said we're gonna kick the can down the road?
I just moved the tools deep dive here
Oh.
from Monday, because
You know what,
here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about this thing. I don't want to pay. I'm thinking about this bounty. I don't want to pay $1,000 for one pager. I want a product suite for $1,000. Like if we're gonna push it, okay,
Well,
let's get
I
something
don't know what
better
you're
than
talking about, a product suite.
the one pager. Well, anyway, we'll post the bounty tomorrow. I'm not paying $1,000 for one pager. I'm just thinking about this. That's dumb. So anyway, we'll post the actual bounty tomorrow.
Okay. So anyway, but I do want a one pager, the money printer blueprint. And I think that will be a tool that we can use as a lead generator. And when I say a lead generator, the opportunity, in order for somebody to get this one pager, this PDF, they'll have to provide their email address or some other form of communication. But anyway, I'm going to put in here We Own AI, and I'm going to put a hold. We Own AI working group. Save. Okay, so, and this is where talking about doing one here on Thursday night as well. 9 p.m. Okay, so here's the working groups for this upcoming week. So this is 3 more working groups that we'll be holding this next week. I'm going to make a decision on the office hours here coming up for Wednesday, and I'll take a look at Thursday to see if it makes more sense to potentially do that on Thursday. So anyway, getting back to so we've got here marketing. One of the other things that I'm wanting us to spend some thoughts and conversations around is building a We Own AI readiness assessment. So let's actually just go to incognito window right now at Google and do a Google for AI readiness assessment. And I'm going to put this back in quotes. So let's take a look at as far as how many. So this shows up on 308,000 search results when we put things in quotes. So the reason that this is should be easy for us to build our own thing is that there's a lot of examples, and you can see. Let's actually just see what the AI overview from Google shows us. An AI readiness assessment is a structured evaluation that helps organizations understand their preparedness to adopt and integrate artificial intelligence technologies. It examines various factors like technology, data, talent, and organizational culture to identify strengths, weaknesses, and risks, ultimately guiding the organization towards a successful AI implementation. And to make it very clear, who that we're primarily targeting We Own towards are solopreneurs, small business operators. Quite simply as that. And then just our normal fellow human mankind, a human being. That's who that we're building our agentic AI for. Because we largely believe that those people are largely extracted from by big tech. And I'm fairly certain that that's going to be the big differentiator that we have with WeOwn, our ecosystem at large, is how that we're providing cooperative ownership using on-chain technology. So that being said, the WeOwn AI readiness assessment, and one of the tools that we've already been experimenting with is harmonica.chat. And this is something that I think that we can work on continuing to experiment with WeOwn AI to build our own readiness assessment. One of the things that I'm starting to believe is that it will make sense because I believe with the amount of traction that we will likely have, we probably need to look at creating our own LLMs. And that's another thing of value that we can think about architecting into, whether it's these AI brands here or the ones on the roadmap that aren't listed here. This is something that one of the tools that we're looking at is LLMD, LLM-D.ai. So this is a Kubernetes native high performance distributed LLM inference framework. So I'm not an AI expert, but this is one of the things that's bubbled up on my radar that we should likely have some more conversations around. It's not something that we really need to think about too much, but some people that are more interested in like creating an LLM strategy or something like that. This is me putting it out to the universe at large. Like here's that opportunity to have more conversations around that. So anyway, getting back to our deliverables. So we're making some progress on getting some structured deliverables and some clarity on things. So one of the other things I'm going to put under marketing here, and I'm going to put in here potentially use harmonica.chat, explore LLM-D.ai. Marketing. So we obviously need to set up our Kickstarter, set up a Kickstarter campaign plus Kick Booster. And this is the opportunity that we're creating for our team associates to promote the Kickstarter. Let's see what Kick Booster, I think, booster.me. Yeah, so this is the affiliate program for Kickstarter right here. So one of the other things that we are going to be evaluating for our ecosystem is Fluent Affiliate. Let's see, so right here, Fluent Affiliate. So as I've mentioned, we're building our WordPress using Fluent plugins and multiple reasons why, but they just create some great products. And this is one that they're working on creating a better affiliate dynamic. And just to put it out here to the universe, we would really love, and we're planning using EAS, and this is where we're wanting to really create our by invitation only. And let me actually add that to tech. I'm going to even, that one is pretty important. I'm going to put finalize our by invitation only workflow on WeOwn.xyz. And this is one of the things that will be interesting from a workflow standpoint, because here we're talking about setting up our e-commerce on on-chain books, and here we're talking about setting up our by invitation only workflow on WeOwn.xyz. I'm fairly certain that we can make that happen. What that looks like, not really sure. One of the tools that we're using, and let's actually go here to GitHub real quick. And I'm going to take this as an action item here. So we've been working on using Mermaid to document some of our workflows. And this is, let me make this a little bit bigger. Oh, so this is the American Dream campaign. This is where we can think about creating using Mermaid some simple user journeys as far as like how that we're going to structure the workflow to promote the Kickstarter campaign for those people that may want to promote that. But that being said, I'm looking at the time. We're getting close to the end of today's working group. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to get our upcoming working group for working group 7. And it looks like we need a new combos grouping here. So let me duplicate this and put this here. And this is Working Group 07 on July 28th. All right, so let's talk about what we want to talk about on our upcoming working group. And this is one of the things that I want to get better at because, anyway, we've been all over the place. We'll be getting a summary from Fathom, and this is another thing that I want to really get an elevated workflow around because right now we're using Luma. And anyway, that's a work in progress to get a better workflow that we own. But I'm going to go on mute and see what things that we should focus on for our working group tomorrow afternoon.
We really need to prioritize the things for the Kickstarter and keep that moving forward.
I agree. Should we work on getting the Kickstarter campaign? And I'm going to put this here. Spend more time during this working group on Kickstarter. So here's one of my thoughts, Tyler, is that we should, between now and the working group tomorrow afternoon, is instead of doing like create the Kickstarter, let's just work on getting that done. So that now we're like, okay, well, here's what it looks like for us to create we've actually got the Kickstarter, like gone through some of the process so that we can have a more effective use of people's time tomorrow. What is your thoughts on that?
I mean, that's fine. I took the outline of a Kickstarter campaign. I've broken it down into steps, so I've got a lot of the steps that we can at least bang through what people have experience doing, what they're interested in doing. We don't necessarily have to do everything in order. So I think we can just go through the whole strategy and start knocking stuff out. But I'm getting pretty concerned that if we don't stay on a pretty aggressive pace, we're not going to have everything ready to go in time to market it, in time to fund it.
I would agree. And this is where like that's what one of the reasons that I wanted to spend some time here tonight talking about like some high level things like the what are we actually going to promote and think about. So that's one of the things that like because at the end of the day, most of these are right now just quite simply a bullet point. It'll also be a bullet point, but we either will have that bullet point or won't as far as things that are on the roadmap and agentic AI that we're looking to fund through We Own AI. And at the end of the day, the Kickstarter is a book. So that's another thing that we need to be cognizant of, but it's actually going to have a lot more utility under the hood because that NFT is also going to dual purpose as the proof of membership into our ecosystem. So, let's because one of the things I don't know if this has all the buckets of categories on it, but one of the things that I think that we need to do, and I'm going to put this under tech, and I'm going to bump this up even on a higher priority, is create a Google Sheets for SMEs that slash potential contributors, because this is where also need to get more efforts in like thinking about using Fluent CRM to facilitate some of these conversations. I would prefer to do another thing that need to set up, and this isn't necessarily related to We Own AI or our Kickstarter, but definitely something that we need to have a better understanding is establish Google Analytics for WeOwn.xyz and create a guide on guide/best practices, because this is also something that Tyler, made some observations around with the marketing campaign that we did here a couple weeks ago, and that's one of the things that we paid for a marketing campaign and we didn't have a solid enough foundation with having some things like Google Analytics, or like one of the things besides Google Analytics I would like to understand is a similar sort of suite of tools that we could self-host in a Docker container that would live in our Kubernetes cluster. So that Kubernetes cluster Docker container is how that we're going to be building, deploying the agentic AI. So at the end of the day, everybody that has a WeOwn AI, agentic AI, will have their own Kubernetes cluster and likely multiple Docker containers, AI agents, orchestrating to get results for people. All right, so going back, what else do we want to talk about? I think that this is good. Yeah.
We actually, this can probably wait till our next group, but the next thing we need to do is get our next cohort ready to go and get that marketing going so that we've got a full cohort when we're ready to start the next one.
Yeah, and just thinking from a timeline, and the next cohort, just to bounce over here, is AI for legal. And this is where we need to make a decision as far as like how because like this is something that we could think about too on the one pager. Maybe we more gear targeting legal people through whatever conversations, because one of the things that we can potentially do around our WeOwn AI lunch and learn is be more intentional about targeting people for the upcoming cohort, because this is one of the things that's a question mark. But yeah, I'm just thinking out loud, because we could potentially make the one pager the money printer blueprint for legal, because that would definitely more. But I don't know. I don't think right now it makes that. I think it makes more sense to have the money printer blueprint be more generic and that we could build upon. But I'm going to continue to think about like some things that I would like to see from a high level standpoint in the money printer blueprint. But anyway, going back to the agenda, and I'll put this to discuss strategy around WeOwn PB2, for legal. And that's going to be an ongoing thought and conversation. Looking at the time, we're on the hour. Always want to be respectful of everyone's time. I'm going to go ahead and stop a screen share here. And if there's anything else, this would be a great time to throw that in. Otherwise, we can say goodbye. We'll be back again. I'll get that event scheduled. It'll be posted in the Telegram and on the WeOwn.xyz community portal. Love having these conversations. I know that we were all over the place, but that's one of the things that happens during these working groups is that we really build in public and figure out how to best move the needle forward, because our own time is limited. That's the biggest thing that we limiting variable that we all have is 24 hours a day.
Night, Jeff.
Good night.
Bye. Thanks, everybody. Until next time.